Week and are ready to try to improve on this 2-6 record. One big step back in the right direction is the addition of TJ Watt back in the lineup. Watt spoke at practice Friday ahead of his return.
So you're going to play?
Yes.
You excited to finally get back out there?
Yes, I am very excited. It's just been a long time coming. Just feel very, very good about the week that I had, and excited to play, excited to be back at Acrisure Stadium and get the fans involved.
How much do you think you can help this defense out right now?
I'm just trying to not be someone that I'm not, and that's just all we can ask. But defensively, I'm not going to go out there and try to make every single play, just because then I'm putting guys in the back end at risk. But I am trying to help this team win games any way I possibly can, whether that's actually making plays or just being out on the field in a leadership role as well.
Do you think you coming back will help turn things around a little bit, maybe give this team a little bit of a spark?
I hope so. I think everybody in here is trying to find a spark and trying to get in the win column. It starts, like I say, every week. It starts with having a great week of practice, which I feel like we have, and I'm excited to go out and see what we're made of on Sunday.
You 100%? Are you going to be on a pitch count at all?
No pitch count. I don't want to put any limitations on myself. I never play 100% of the snaps anyways.
TJ, physically, the week played out pretty well for you?
Yeah, I feel really good. We have a good plan. The vet day is nice. Get to spend a little bit of time with Cam. Not that I need any more, but yeah, I honestly feel really good with where I'm at.
Meanwhile, Watt's teammates have been waiting nearly 8 weeks for his return, and they know having him back on the edge will make a huge difference for the defense. I was in the locker room all this week getting some of the Steelers' reactions to the news of a Watt return.
Having a guy back like that, and I think he just adds so much to our defense. Defensive player of the year, he's defensive player of the year for a reason. And so, like I say, he just brings so much energy and so much splash, and whenever he makes those plays, it just adds juice, to the whole team. And so, like I said, we're super excited to have him back.
TJ is a guy that just creates chaos no matter where he is, whether it's in the run game or in the pass game. It's going to be some sort of dysfunction on the offensive side of the ball over there. So, quarterback is always weary where he is. So when he's getting pressure on him, the quarterback's not throwing the way that he normally would, or he's not able to look down the field the way they normally would. It's TJ Watt, so he makes plays wherever he is. And when you have a guy like that around the ball, always as an outside linebacker, defensive end, just creates chaos.
He's a great player. Adding him to the equation definitely helps us. He's a veteran player, knows what to do, and we'll see on Sunday.
The Steelers also brought another familiar face back, and he will be in the lineup Sunday. Safety DeMonte Casey returned to practice ahead of the bye week and was fully activated on Thursday to make room for Casey on the roster. Kicker Chris Boswell was placed on injured reserve. He will miss at least the next 4 games. Time to take a look at the same rest in the bye week, but are now back to work. Head coach Mike Tomlin is ready for the Saints in another NFC South matchup.
I'm excited for a lot of reasons. It's a Hall of Honor weekend. Get an opportunity to honor some Steeler legends within that group. My man Heath Miller, so excited about that component of it. Excited about getting this group back into a stadium. We made really good use of our bye week, as we talked about last week, and bye week, there are a lot of things going on bye week usually. From a player perspective, man, we like to give players whatever it is that they need. In some instances, because of health, is resting, recuperation. In some instances, is that because of age, if you will. Sometimes we give guys additional work, developing players. We work on components of our game that we feel like require our attention. Oftentimes, it's situational football. Weighty downs, possession down football, 2-minute red zone. We had a good week in terms of some of those things. I see some evolution in these guys that's dramatically different from the last time we played them. There's still a four-down front. They play a lot of people up front. They do a great job of getting pressure on the quarterback with Cam Jordan and company. But I see some end-of-the-line awareness and some edge play, some evolution, some hybrid things evolving in their defense. Cam Jordan and company are oftentimes playing in a two-point stance, and I think quarterback mobility and some of the jet sweep things that are in vogue in today's game has really probably pushed them toward that. But there's some schematic changes to deal with from that perspective, and they're a much more versatile group maybe than they used to be in terms of the amount of fronts and things that they're willing to throw at you. And I think the utilization of those edge people, particularly as stand-up guys with Davenport and others, is new and different. Can't say enough about their linebacker tandem, their second-level guys. Davis, as a green dot, as an all-situations player, as a sideline-to-sideline tackler.
The players were also happy to see the bye come and go and are looking forward to hitting the field at Acrisure Stadium Sunday. Just like the win over the Bucs, having the home crowd can make a difference in games like this.
So absolutely, yeah. I mean, we've been going at it for a while, going back to camp. So it was good, I think, to get a break and get away, and everyone came back pretty refreshed.
You notice a different energy at practice or a different vibe around the locker room after the week off?
I don't know, we got a pretty good group. Everyone seems to have really good attitudes, but I mean, a little extra pep in the step, I guess. To say guys got some extra sleep and did some recovery things, so it was good.
I went back home, spent time with my family, just really try to take my mind off football for a little bit, and that was pretty much it.
I think it was good for this team.
Yeah, give us a chance to regroup. Everybody refresh their minds, and now we back, so it's time to get back to it.
No doubt. We know the type of team we can be. We know we have the talent in the room to do it, especially, how we started the season, especially that first game. Like, we know the type of team that we can be. And so I think it's just getting back to the details and just playing Steeler football, physical, like getting back to that, because we know we haven't been playing that recently. And so we have no doubt in our minds that we can turn this thing around.
Like underdogs and all that stuff it makes no sense to me, because I know in this game, if you're not ready to play, you will get exposed. It doesn't matter what your record is. There's professionalism on both sides of the ball. So when someone says underdog or they say they know what the spread's going to be, I really don't pay attention to that, because I think that's a little deceiving. It's more of a fan tool rather than, oh, yeah, we're a 14-point underdog. We really are up against it. That's not the way I look at it.
Now it's time to take a look at the road ahead for the Steelers after the Saints game. A schedule change as the Bengals matchup from Acrisure moves from an 8:20 start to 4:25, and that game can be seen on KDK TV. Then the Steelers are on the road against the Colts and Falcons before the team, and former Steelers running back Merril Hoge is here to break down how a player like Watt is so critical to the success of the Steelers defense.
Hi everyone, welcome into the Factor Back Studios for the Acrisure Playbook. Well, the return of TJ Watt. Now that is a big time thing for a lot of people. Fans excited he's going to be back. Coaches are excited he's going to be back. His teammates are excited he's going to be back. The opponent, they're probably not too excited because he's a guy you have to game plan for. Now, what do you mean by that? What is a guy you've got to game plan for? There's always a guy or two where you got to occupy people to him. Not just one person, two, maybe even three at times. TJ Watt's that kind of guy. So that makes it easier on his teammates. When he's on the field, 2 or 3 guys are looking at him, makes it easier on us. Now let me show you what I'm talking about from that perspective. Game planning. We're going to go to last year to the Tennessee Titans. Now, TJ Watt, first of all, right down here. Let's focus on him here. Here's what they do as far as a game plan goes. They have this tight end here, so they widen TJ Watt. Get him further away from the quarterback. So they do that by alignment. They do that for a reason. He's going to chip TJ Watt. The tackle is going to block him. But I want you to watch this guard. Watch his head right after they snap the football. He too is looking at TJ Watt because they don't want him to wreck this play. So they've game planned for this. There's your chip. Tight end is going to release. Got the tackle waiting for him. And even the guard's peeking at him because the center has this block right here. Well, all of this game plan didn't work. He still gets in the backfield. When you can get a guy like that back who makes that type of impact, who draws that kind of attention, it just helps everybody else. But then we can't lose sight of the other things that he does. These are the things that actually impress me more than that I just showed you. This is a run play. Watch how quickly he's off the football. Penetration, #1 killer in the running game, and this is the type of penetration you'd like. Watch as they snap this ball. Look how quickly he's off the ball. He's already dipped here, and he's getting the backfield. He might, if he's a little quicker, he might get the handoff before the running back does. But he's in the backfield to disrupt the running game. Those type of plays make him a complete football player. Now, here's a game plan, okay? Remember, tight end's right here. They want to widen him out here. Now, this time, TJ doesn't attack. He actually tries to chip the tight end to help the guys in the back end. So what does that do? I'll show you. So when he tries to chip him here, he's trying to slow him down to get out of here. Well, that's going to make him late here. Well, watch what he does from his instincts. I just love this. He can't get there, so he times it right, he gets the interception. When you get a guy back like this, that you have to game plan for, and he brings all of these playmaking abilities to, this defense has already played pretty good without him. Boy, with him back, we'll make this defense one of the better defenses in all of football.
Pittsburgh's own Dave Dameshek. He poses an interesting hypothetical on the 1976 season, which ended in a loss to the Raiders late in the playoffs.
The receiver in the end zone did not survive the ground. It's an incomplete pass. He tackles him.
Hi and hello, football fans. Dave Dameshek coming to you from Pittsburgh, or should I say Ifsburg, to play another round of What If with Pittsburgh Steelers history. What if Franco and Rocky had played in the title game?
Franco Harris' questionable condition poses a problem for the defending champion Steelers. The Steeler attack is based upon a strong performance from its running backs.
Today, let's figure out what would have happened had the Steelers' twin 1,000-yard rushers Franco Harris and Rocky Bleier been available for a third straight AFC title game against the Oakland Raiders, this time in the East Bay. We now know John Madden's gang of hairy, scary marauders, having just barely survived its divisional round game against New England, was on the cusp of finally getting back to the Super Bowl. But with the weight of expectation and the recent history against the two-time defending champs on their way from across football America, laying heavy on their silver and black shoulders. Way back in September, the Raiders had opened the season with a 3-point win over the Steelers, who were 1-4 by mid-October, but that was before the steel curtain rose up to shut down pro football after Terry Bradshaw got hurt.
I want us to win. I don't care who's in there.
5 shutouts and just 28 total points allowed over a 9-game win streak. In the divisional round, the black and gold went to Baltimore and turned 1976 MVP Burt Jones and the Colts into glue, 40-14. It was such an ugly day in the neighborhood, Ernie beat up Burt. But what if Franco and Rocky had played? Amidst the domination, Snake Stabler and company would be provided a belated Christmas gift for the December 26th title game. Franco and Rocky, twin engines whose combined 160 rush yards a game provided the power for the Pittsburgh offense during the streak, were injured. Listen, I don't want to make excuses, but the 76 Steelers without either of their star runners was like a sandwich without French fries. Or an incline that doesn't go up, or a football helmet that doesn't have a logo on one. Well, actually, I think that's pretty cool. That's a bad example. Forget that. As it was that day in the East Bay, all it took was a bad punt and a forced Bradshaw pass that got picked and returned to the Steelers' one to provide Oakland with enough points. But with either Franco or Rocky, or better yet, both, the Steelers do what they did to Oakland in the 2 preceding title games, namely, grind them into a fine mush.
On to the Super Bowl! Super Bowl!
So Super Bowl 11 becomes the Steelers and the Minnesota Vikings, a sun-baked sequel to the Overcast OG between the two teams 2 years prior down in New Orleans. Pat Riley coined the phrase three-peat in the late 80s. Terrific, he can save that coin as a keepsake because by the end of the 76 playoffs, the Pittsburgh Steelers would have had 3 shiny keepsakes of their own in the toughest era in pro football's history. Lombardi Trophy? How about the Emperor Chaz Noel Trophy? Now that has a nice ring to it.
All right, thanks a lot, Dave. What a difference a couple of injuries can make for a potential Super Bowl contender. Now it's time for what's happening around local high school football, courtesy of Hannah Mears and Steelers TV.
It's playoff time in Western Pennsylvania, in the Pittsburgh Steelers High School Football Showcase Game of the Week, presented by the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, is covering the 5A quarterfinals between Penn Trafford and Pine Richland. Now, these two teams are no stranger to one another in the playoffs. In 2020, the Pine Richland Rams were successful, but last year, the Penn Trafford Warriors came out on top. So it's quite the rematch here tonight. And we also have Arthur Moats joining us, a former Pittsburgh Steeler, who will also get to see his former teammate Vince Williams in a coaching role on the sidelines for the Pine Richland Rams.
What do you feel, man? Bro, that's crazy. Hey, bro.
The big reason why playoff football is so special at this level is because it's so pure. Man, this is before you get to college, before you become professional. This is where you're just playing because of the love of the game, your friends, your students. Like, this is what it's all about. And for me, I love the nostalgia part. It reminds me of why I started to love football, all because of them Friday night lights.
On KDK this weekend. Join us for Steelers kickoff at 11:30. Then after the game, 2 hours of Steelers post-game coverage on Pittsburgh CW with Steelers Extra Point and the nightly sports call special edition. Tune back into KDK TV following the late news for the next edition of the #1 Cochran Sports Showdown as well.